What's up? Hope everybody is doing well on this most festive Tuesday night. So much stuff to get to. We're going to try to squeeze it all in as fast as possible. I'm going to run around like a chicken with my head cut off. Make sure you like and subscribe. And by the way, we're on a whole bunch of stations nationwide. So check out the radio show, 6 to 9 Pacific, 9 to noon Eastern. You go to my website, thechadbensonshow.com, and just you can stream it live. Check it out. We're all over the place. We talk about everything. And I'm a big believer in talking about everything. And I'm not like everybody else. And I tell everybody that. If you want some crazy, super, uber right-wing talking points all the time, it's not what you're going to get. If you think that because I've got a libertarian slant, that I'm only going to, talk about libertarian stuff, no, we're going to talk about everything. And the big thing tonight, obviously, is what's going on with a guy, Mahmoud Khalil, who is a Palestinian born in Syria. His grandparents left Palestine. They were asked to leave and came here in 2022, married an American, but first he came here on a visa, got a degree at Columbia University, and from there has married a woman. She's an American. She's 8 months pregnant. And over the weekend, he was taken into custody, and he's now become essentially the new poster boy and martyr for the Democrat Party, and has a lot to do with speech. Now, he is not a student visa holder. He is a permanent resident, a green card holder. And this entire situation didn't feel like it went right. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I think the stuff that he is espousing is abhorrent. I think the insanity of which these college campuses have lost the plot. They wear apartheid like it's a fashion statement because it is always about the disdain for anything they seem to think is the underdog in this situation, and not recognizing who they're associating themselves with. Because all the things they believe, the LGBTQ+, the women's right and all that stuff, that would all be taken away with the groups they support. But this is about due process. Period, case closed, end of story. Do I think he's done some stuff? Yeah, he is part of the Columbia University Apartheid Divestment Organization. He did a lot of he was a rabble-rouser, no doubt about that. But you got to prove it. And because he's on a student visa, not a student visa, but a green card, he has a little bit more rights than somebody who's just here on a student visa. And you've got to prove it. And for me, I am a big believer in A, free speech, and B, a very big believer in due process. Because I think when you got due process and it actually does what it's supposed to do, it's so much better than just kicking this guy's ass to the curb. Because you don't want to make him any more of a martyr. And the reality, the Democrats have already decided, hey, we're going to make this guy a martyr, which is a dumb thing to do, swing and miss, but welcome to the world of the Democrat Party. Earlier today, they were talking about Carolyn Leavitt talking about him and
under the
what should
Immigration
happen
and Nationality
to him.
Act, the Secretary of State has the right to revoke a green card or a visa for individuals who serve or are adversarial to the foreign policy and national security interests of the United States of America. And Mahmoud Khalil was an individual who was given the privilege of coming to this country to study at one of our nation's finest universities and colleges. And he took advantage of that opportunity, of that privilege, by siding with terrorists, Hamas terrorists who have killed innocent men, women, and children. This is an individual who organized group protests that not only disrupted college campus classes and harassed Jewish American students and made them feel unsafe on their own college campus, but also distributed pro-Hamas propaganda, flyers with the logo of Hamas. That is what the behavior and activity that this individual engaged in. And I have those flyers on my desk. They were provided to me by the Department of Homeland Security. I thought about bringing them into this briefing room to share with all of you, but I didn't think it was worth the dignity of this room to bring that pro-Hamas propaganda. But that's what this individual distributed on the campus of Columbia University. And this administration is not going to tolerate individuals having the privilege of studying in our country and then siding with pro-terrorist organizations that have killed Americans. We have a zero tolerance policy for siding with terrorists, period.
Period. And you know what? I got no problems with that. Due process. Give him his due in court. Show everybody, look, not only has he done all these things, and again, show that he's done all these things. I want to know exactly what they are. But it's time for him to go. And this is a warning to everybody out there that this will not be tolerated. We saw these insane, crazy protests. And part of this is on the administrators of these colleges who've allowed all of these kids and outside agitators to show up and get a seat at the table, which you and I both know is absolutely ridiculous. They shouldn't get a seat at the table at all. You know, you're here to get an education. You're not here to bully everybody. And that's what this thing became. And this guy really was a big part of it. Now, for me, again, I am a big believer in the due process, because if you go and you can't prove it, and you got him and you bounced him, and all of a sudden you realize you didn't have it because you didn't have everything, all your ducks in a row, that isn't a good look. That isn't a good look. He passed out flyers justifying October 7th. He passed out flyers saying fight for the total eradication of the Western civilization. He passed out flyers that looked like this. Yes, he did. So again, the due process is what I care about. I want the due process because I want to see it right in front of there and have everybody look and say, this is what's going on college campuses. These are the people you've put your trust in. These young kids who are running around, these young adults acting a fool, because they are, and supporting groups that hate everything that they think is wonderful outside of the West. And you know what those things are? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom for women to have rights, the LGBT community, all of these things. But you got to give due process. And so many people I talked to today said, nah, you got to get him out of here. Period, case closed. Don't even give him that. No, that's not what we do. That's not who we are. And that's not what we want to become. We want to do it the right way because that's what you're supposed to do. Do it the right way. It's period. Case closed. And the minute it's done the right way, and if you've got everything on them, have a wonderful day. Nobody's going to complain. The Democrats will, because they're going to bitch, whine, and moan and have an opportunity to scream dictator, which is what they love to do when it comes to Trump and all of these things. And don't give them the opportunity to do that.
And shocker, the Democrats are siding with the pro-terror agitators.
If you believe in constitutional rights, if you understand that they're targeting this person, and everyone knows he has been very vocal against the genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza, and they're targeting him and refusing him constitutional rights, who's next?
All right, so Jessica, is this one of those things where, like, the whole country wants this guy booted and the Democrats stick up for him?
I'm not sure it's quite that extreme. I have seen conservatives, I think Ann Coulter wrote, I basically want to deport everyone, but I need to know what the crime is that he committed. And the Secretary of State does have the power to revoke a green card if there's a legal basis for doing that. So I think, they're going to need to prove their case. But I certainly don't want this guy to become the poster child for the Democratic Party. I saw the Senate Judiciary Dems tweeted out a picture and saying, like, free him. That seems extreme. And this guy, he is chosen to align himself with a group that is holding Americans hostage. Yep. And that feels like a national security threat to me. And that certainly feels like someone who doesn't really want to be part of the American fabric. And he is married to an American. She is 8 months pregnant. That's serious. He's part of a community here. He is. He's married to an American. That matters, Judge. But
you'll hear from me. Don't worry about me.
Well, go ahead.
Okay.
We know we will. And you know what? You chose to align yourself with the worst of the worst. You chose to align yourself with the worst of the worst. But you should have your due process. You should have your day in court. So tomorrow he's going to be in court. When they took him, originally they said that they'd revoked his visa for being a student. And he's like, I'm a green card holder. And they said, you are? Oh, well, we've revoked that too. The Secretary of State really doesn't have that kind of power. And the judge says, yeah, that isn't going to happen. You're going to come before me. And that's going to happen tomorrow. And he's got another hearing, if that goes through, where he would get in front of an immigration judge on the 21st. This isn't over. Due process is important. And every one of us out there should want due process. Like Ann Coulter said, get rid of them all. Just show me the crime. And that's what you have to do. Show it, prove it. And there's enough. There's enough of video. There's enough things that he has said in the support of people who are killing and murdering innocent people. There is enough evidence out there to put in front of somebody saying he supports people who want to kill not only Americans, but Jews and destroy the West. He supports people that are on a terrorist watch list. He supports people that everything that we believe, it is the absolute opposite of what he wants. And you show the due process. And you show through the due process, this is the process we took. We gave him his opportunity. We gave him time in front of the judge. And now he's been heard. And that way, when everybody goes, he didn't have due process, he did. And he was found wanting. No doubt about that. We move from there to more insanity, as always. Today, well, I don't know what else there is to say. Things like this make me laugh only because it's such a game. It is absolutely such a game in the world of politics. In saying that, there was a meeting. You've got Bill Keating here, Democrat from Massachusetts, Sarah McBride, transgender, and Keith Self, Texas. So Delaware, Massachusetts, Texas, and one of them is transgender. And Keith Self, he's having none of it.
From Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Boy, that's fun. That is modern politics in a nutshell. Everybody look at us. We're all going to fight. I'm going to stand up for somebody who's part of a marginalized group rather than just go whatever and just move on with it. Because everybody wants their 5 minutes of whatever. You might as well just put them in a room. There was nothing there. It was a House hearing for something. Who was it about? Nobody cares. And that poor person that was drunk there for some sort of House hearing is going, are we done? I didn't even, what are they talking? Why am I here? Because it's modern politics, and that's it. It is. It's modern politics in a nutshell, which is say something that is inflammatory, get somebody to react to that, have somebody else stand up and fight for that, and solve nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. And it is frustrating as hell because, unfortunately, I don't think the modern politics world is going anywhere until we, as a country, the exhausted majority, which I count us as, decides that we've had enough of the exhaustion of really reality television as the people who seem to rule the day, because we're reality television watchers. Over to Ireland we go with Rosie O'Donnell. She's moved to Ireland. Why?
And it's beautiful and warm, not physically. It's actually quite cold. Moved here on January 15th, and it's been pretty wonderful, I have to say. The people are so loving and so kind, so welcoming, and I'm very grateful. I'm in the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents, and that's what's going on, and that's where I've been and what I've been doing. And although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country, that's what I decided would be the best for myself and my 12-year-old child. And here we are. Here we are. I miss my other kids. I miss my friends. I miss many things about life there at home. And I'm trying to find a home here in this beautiful country. And when, it is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America, that's when we will consider coming back.
You've got equal rights here in America. You do. Nothing has changed. You've overreacted. And this is the way I feel about people who want to run in a situation. If you don't like America because somebody else got voted in, rather than staying and fighting, you want to flee. It's like a person who feels upset about their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their husband and wife. Things aren't going the way they want, and they bounce. Then that person wins the lottery, it becomes a success, and then you want to come back? F you and the horse you rode in on. F you. F you and the horse you rode in on. If you don't want to be here in what you think is the bad times, then sure in the hell shouldn't come back if you think times are better, because you weren't willing to, quote unquote, stick it out. And let me tell you something. I love Ireland. We've been to Ireland, and I absolutely love it. It is beautiful. But good riddance. Have a wonderful life. I wish you nothing but the best. And for all of those people who want to bounce because you think this is the worst place on earth and Donald Trump is a dictator and all of those things, that is your right to do it if a place will take you. Here's the difference between the average person and Rosie. She's got dollar bills, and she has grandparents, which helps because they're really trying to bring people in over there. If you've got grandparents, it's easy to get citizenship. That being said, if you're leaving because you think America has fallen apart and it's a dictatorship and it's all the things that are evil, like I said, when the lottery, quote unquote, is won again and you feel it's safe to come back, maybe nobody wants you anymore. Just putting that out. And finally, to the insanity of the day, kids, I don't even know what to say at this point in time. Democrats, I can guarantee you this person didn't vote for Donald Trump. And, well.
Hello, everybody. It's JD, turtle and pronouns. Pronouns are turtle and they, them. Hello, everybody. It's JD. I use they, them, or turtle for pronouns. Hello, everybody. It's JD, they, them, and turtle for pronouns in the Springfield, Eugene area.
Turtle and pronouns, people. No, you don't. You don't get a turtle. You're not a turtle. You're not even close to being it. First of all, you're not a turtle. It's just, that isn't going to happen. I don't care what kind of truth you believe you're living. You're insane. And this has got to stop. And Democrats, this is when you look at somebody and go, you know what, JD, stop it. Stop it. You're not a turtle. You don't get to pretend to be a turtle. Hell, you know what? If you want to pretend to be a wench at the Renaissance Fair, knock yourself out. But you're not a turtle. You're not even a turtle at a football game for a team that's called the Turtles. So stop it. Stop. It's hard for them to. For whatever reason, they continue to run at insanity and they push it everywhere. A lot of other stuff we'll touch quickly on. Department of Education. Yes, Jim, what the heck was that? Turtle. That was right, turtle. Everybody said turtle? Did that person really? Yes, turtle is what she said. I'm not lying. Let's listen to it one more time because it is worth it. It is a turtle power is what she said. And I don't know how.
Hello, everybody. It's
that happens.
JD, turtle and pronouns. Pronouns are turtle and they, them.
Turtle and they, them pronouns. So there you go. Department of Education apparently laid off 50% of their workforce tonight. I have zero problems with that. I have zero problems cutting the Department of Education. Randy Weingart can run around and scream and yell all the time. Less realistically, when it comes to the numbers, I want everybody to think about this when it comes to numbers of the Department of Education. About 80 to 90% of the money that funds the schools in your state comes from your state. And out of the God knows how much money the Department of Education gets, maybe 20% makes it to the classroom. So that's not a lot. The Department of Education does nothing at all. And we've got to do a better job in this country educating our kids. It was 5 years ago today that the World Health Organization, right? Today is a global pandemic. The guy comes out and says that. Next thing you know, everything changes. Then the first case ends up in Washington State. From there, it spreads across the country. And we got people going, we got to close everything. And they closed the schools. And then it was like, well, now that the schools are reopened, it's going to give them time for the kids to get back in shape. No, it's not. It's time we need to rethink education across the board, from top to bottom. And that includes paying teachers, rewarding teachers, and getting rid of all of the middlemen and women in the education system that don't do shit. They're paper pushers, they're admins, they eat up salary, they eat up space, and they contribute very little. And I think a lot of you who have friends who are teachers, maybe some of you are teachers, you understand that. You get it. We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see the reaction of all of that. And again, more on the hearing tomorrow. Catch me tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 9 Pacific, 9 to noon on the East Coast. Follow me across all the stuff, YouTube. Like and subscribe there. I like when you do that. Share all this stuff. You guys have a great, awesome rest of your night, and we will do it again tomorrow. Check out all of our stuff, the podcast, the whole 9 yards. God bless.